Hello guys, Football the Hammy here again. Today I am here to share something extremely exciting for you guys. So what are we doing today exactly? Basically the recording I'm showing you right now is me brutally murdering 100 tier 3 Tarantula Broodfathers in the celebration for the 100 subs. You guys finally got me. By the way, love you guys so much for helping me reach 100 subs. I did kill a 100 tier 3 Tarantula Broodfathers in a day, by the way, and my hands don't feel so good because yesterday I knew I broke 100 subs, but yesterday I went for a whole day back to school just to do co-curricular activities, also known as CCA, and then I'm in a debate club, so I had to debate basically the entire day. I am very tired, so I couldn't even kill a single Tarantula Broodfather yesterday. So today I woke up and I told myself I had to kill 100 tier 3 Tarantula Broodfather for you guys. It took me approximately 4 hours. I just sat down and just grinded it. My hands don't feel so good. So yeah, but I'm doing it all for you guys. Thank you so much for helping me reach 100 subscribers in a short period of time. Really appreciate it so much. So yeah, besides that, I'm also going to announce a massive giveaway in appreciation for you guys helping me reach the triple digit of subscribers. Actually 100 subs basically, but thank you so much. And I will be giving away 1 leaping sword, 1 set of young dragon armor, and 5 lucky people will be walking away with 200,000 coins. And all you need to do is to subscribe, turn on notifications, and join the Discord link in the description down below just to participate in it. It is that simple. And yes, and also if you guys want to torture me, I will be doing something similar to this whenever I break 250, 500, and even 1000 subscribers. Yes, I will be killing 1000 tier 3 Tarantula Broodfort, and I am seriously going to kill 1000 tier 3 Tarantula Broodfathers or any other Slayer boss once I reach 1000 subs. I am totally going to regret my life decisions. Also, based on the amount of likes in this video in the next 3 days, which I will be monitoring, I will be giving away a massive amount of coins. Each like will be the equivalent of 25,000 coins, and afterwards I will split the cash prize among several winners. So yeah, good luck to everyone, and I hope you guys win. So now, moving on to the video. Today I will be doing another episode on the series of Real Talk. Basically, if you don't know this new series I started on just recently, it will be about me giving my opinions and discussions on specific topics on Skyblock. Whether big or small, I would tackle all of these questions. The previous video was about me tackling the question about why do we play Skyblock, so feel free to check out that video. But first, today's topic would actually be about what are the flaws of the Slayer system in Skyblock. So first and foremost, the main issues with the Slayer system introduced a while ago in the Skyblock update shortly after the release of the end update would be, the main flaws would be 1. The repetitiveness of the grind, 2. The high reliance of luck, and 3. The lack of balance among the Slayer items. And yeah, so first and foremost, let me give you some context. The Slayer update was introduced shortly after the end, approximately around 1 to 2 months after the end. And yeah, some people claim that the end was better than Slayers, and some claim that Slayers are better than the end. And yeah, the majority of players prefer the end over Slayers in general, but for me, I love Slayers more. But I have to still admit that Slayers has a lot of flaws, and today I have to sadly actually step down and actually tell you guys why I don't really like Slayers. Or I mean, I still like it, but there are some flaws with it regarding Slayers. So first and foremost, those 3 main points that I mentioned above will be covered in today's video. First and foremost, the repetitiveness of the grind. Personally, I can see why players are annoyed at how they have to grind thousands of bosses just to grind out Slayer levels or armor sets. Talking about Zombie Bulwark and Spider Bulwark, where you're expected to grind 500,000 spiders or 500,000 zombies just to max out the defense. Like, I don't have the time to do that, and I'm pretty sure the majority of Skyblock players just don't want to do that. However, that being said, I don't find a problem with killing over thousands of bosses back to back again. The problem here lies in the fact of the lack of the change of the environment. So personally, I think it's fine for you to personally, I think it's fine for you to be expected to kill over 1,000 Slayer bosses to get an RNG item. That's perfectly fine. But the problem with grinding over 1,000 bosses back to back to back is that I feel like there is a lack of excitement, and that there is a lack of the change, and that I feel like there's a lack in the change of the environment. So if Slayers actually had more than just mini bosses that drop the primary drops of Revenant Flesh, Wolf Teeth, and Tarantula Web, but also have a chance of dropping 20% drops like Foul Flesh, Hamster Whales, and Toxic Arrow Poisons, as well as the 5% chance runes, and maybe even the 1% drop items. But maybe divide the drop chance from these mini bosses by 4. I mean, obviously for balance. So yeah, I feel like by giving mini bosses the ability to drop some loot that the main boss can drop would add some excitement to the game. Like, at least it will add some excitement to like the part where you're trying to summon the boss, like you're opening a mini present and you're hoping something comes out that's good, and etc. I personally think that this addition will make it a lot more refreshing and like exciting, especially during the phase where you are expected to summon the boss and kill a bunch of spiders, zombies, or wolves. I feel like making mini bosses become like a small goodie box would be kind of interesting, and at least it would spice things up a bit. It won't be a permanent solution, but at least for now it is a step in the right direction. But despite that, like aside about the problem with the mini bosses and the environment, I will also have to admit that Slayers just doesn't have the best environment. Like many players, including me, and experienced and inexperienced Slayer grinders alike, everyone just finds it annoying that players can just steal your mini bosses. Like, let's be honest, that one random time where the sweaty dude or that tryhard dude just walks in and slaps your boss when like it's on the last hit of dying, especially for like the red mini bosses that spawns for tier 4s, and like you are one hit away from killing it to get the huge XP boost, and that one person just walks into you and slaps the boss and just steals the red boss that took you like 10 hits to kill. It's absolutely annoying, and I feel like that's just not fun. That's just really unfair and just not fun. I just don't find it, I just don't find the purpose of allowing others just to stab a mini boss like this. So I feel like on top of that, right, you are forced to compete with other players to kill as many mobs as you can with the limited mobs spawned every second, essentially making it a zero-sum game. Now, zero-sum games aren't exactly bad, but the thing is, it's not fun for both parties, right? Think about it. I mean, like, for the losing party, it's obvious why the losing party will just be sad, because like you literally stole his Slayer boss, or 2, you just wiped out all the spiders in the den, or like you wiped out all the wolves in the castle, and etc. But even for the winning party, which basically stole all the bosses and stole all of the spiders, wolves, and the zombies, like, it's still stressful. It's still stressful to be able to keep up like the sweatiness that you have to kill all of these bosses and to steal people's mini bosses and to even like try hard just to kill a bunch of spiders. It's just stressful. It's stressful on the winning team's part, and it's also just not fun for the and it's also just not fun for the losing team, which loses out. Like they get their boss stolen and etc. It's just not that fun for both parties. But other than that, being required to kill over 1,000 of the same boss is fine. Aside from the boring environment, I feel like it's fine because the power level of the Slayer drops are actually pretty good, except for the Mosquito Bow, because we all know that's utter garbage. So yeah, I think it's fine, but I feel like some changes should be made, like to make the environment a bit better, less toxic, and to like protect your own mini bosses. Like, at least give your mini bosses like being only limited to you being able to hit it for like 10 seconds or something. I feel like something should be done like that, or like, yeah, it's just really annoying sometimes. And now I will be moving on to our second point about the over reliance on luck. So yeah, this is by far the most annoying problem that every single player, experienced and inexperienced endgame Slayer grinder will ever experience. Having to go through over 2000 tier 4 bosses to not even get a single overflux, but instead a grizzly bait is by far the most rage inducing feeling that you will ever experience in your life. I swear. Just think about it this way. What makes it worse is that the grizzly blade and the overflux capacitor has the same exact drop chance of 0.05%, except that the grizzly bait costs like 5 million coins, but the overflux capacitor costs like 90 million coins. So yeah, think about that the next time you lose a coin flip. Very depressing. It's not fun. Yeah, think about it the next time you get a grizzly bait. I'm pretty sure it's not very fun, am I right? But what's even worse is how players can get an RNGesus drop under 1000 Slayer bosses. Now that isn't a problem, but when comparing that to players who can go over 2000 tier 4 bosses without even getting a single RNGesus drop, you can see a problem. Now I might seem like I'm ranting about how others are luckier than me, but actually no, I was actually one of the luckier people who got a digested mosquito at 138,000 XP, and currently I'm not even Slayer 8 for a spider, and I already have 3 Tarantula talismans. So I'm on the luckier side, but not like but I'm not very lucky, just a bit luckier than the average person. And I'm not complaining about people who are luckier than me right now, but the problem here is not how others are luckier than me or others, but it's just that how resilient and hardworking players are not properly rewarded. RNG in games is good, and it makes the game spicy and interesting, right? Obviously. But when RNG goes against your favor and there's no supporting mechanism as a check and balance, it just becomes sour and unpalatable for a player's experience. Now let's be honest, a player who goes through 2000 tier 4 bosses or 1 million Slayer XP definitely deserves an overflux capacitor, scythe blade, or even a digested mosquito. Let's take a look at games which actually has an RNG check and balance system for legendary or rare items. Let's take for example Hearthstone. Hearthstone is a card game which has hundreds of unique cards of different rarities, ranging from common to legendary. The way you get cards will be from opening packs, and the chance of getting a legendary or epic card are relatively slim. However, every 10 card packs you open, there is a 100% chance that on the 10th pack, there will be a guaranteed epic card if you didn't get an epic card between your 1st and 9th pack. And for legendary cards, it will be on your 42nd card pack if you didn't get any legendary cards between your 1st and 41st card pack. Now, I'm not asking for RNGesus items to be dropping once every 42 bosses. That's absolutely ridiculous and I know it. But instead, make it so that for top tier Slayer items, they have a guaranteed drop chance at 1500 bosses. If let's say you never got a single Slayer drop from your first to your 1499th boss. At least this will make it a bit more fair. But the number is still up for discussion. I just think 1500 is a fair place. At 750,000 XP, I think you definitely deserve an RNG drop, whether you're lucky or unlucky. So yeah, another check and balance method will be to increase the chance of getting an RNGesus item every 50 or 100 bosses you fight without getting any RNGesus item. Possibly like to increase it by 10%. So for example, a 0.05% drop rate item will now become 0.055% after you kill like 50 or 100 Slayer bosses without getting that RNG item, and it will keep increasing until you get a drop, and once you do get it, it resets the base drop chance to 0.05% again. We need these check and balances to ensure that while RNG spices the game up and give lucky players their items, hardworking but less fortunate players would still be rewarded handsomely enough, although not as much as their lucky counterparts, because luck is still fun in general. And I mean, the world isn't entirely equal, but to some certain extent we should try to find equality somewhere. And I feel like at least with this addition, the gap wouldn't be as large as between a lucky and an unlucky player as seen in the status quo. Like someone I know in my guild under 1 million 7 XP got 4 overflux capacitors, while someone else at 1.2 million 7 XP only got 1 grizzly bait and no overflux capacitors. That is just unfair, and that's like just too ridiculous. Like I feel like the difference of what it can get is ridiculous, and I feel like there should be some balancing measure to put in place to allow unlucky players to at least get rewarded with something worthy, you know. And on my last point, the lack of balance for Slayer items. Now, I know most Slayer items are strong enough to justify the time grinding them after the 0.7.5 balance changes, which actually made the Reaper Scythe help you instead of harm you, because they actually made the zombies not deal invincibility frames. They actually made the zombies actually pretty useful right now. But yeah, it actually made the Scythe useful. And the Overflux Power Orb is well justified for its cost. It is by far the best support item to be reckoned with. And the main items that will apply to this problem that I mentioned above will be the Mosquito Bow, Revenant Armor, Hunter Ring, and the Talisman family, as well as the Edible Mace. Firstly, I did a review on the Mosquito Bow, and I shall put it in the link in the description below. So yeah, the Mosquito Bow is total garbage. It does less damage than the Runans, and I don't even know why I want it. It costs so much more. It requires an RNG drop of 0.05%. Why do you want to even get a Mosquito Bow? Does less damage than Runans, costs way more than Runans. I don't get the purpose. It's just useless right now, other than for the purpose of flexing. Next, Revenant Armor. The armor set just sucks. Like, honestly, it has no generic use. Tarantula Armor is good for generic damage. It is good for mobility. That's fine. Mastiff Armor is good for EHP. It is good to be tanky. It has more EHP than Perfect 12. I think that's fine, because it suffers from minus 50% crit damage. Revenant Armor, what does it get? Plus 50% wand healing. What? How is that even useful for generic use? Absolute garbage. I don't even see a purpose for wand healing. I mean, it's nice, but it's not something you will run an armor set that has bad base stats for. Like, you need something more than plus 50% wand healing to even see use when your stats are garbage in general. Revenant Armor needs a lot more of a buff to even compare and to stand up with the Mastiff Armor and the Tarantula Armor. Right now it's just so bad. It has no generic use. Its base stats are garbage, and you don't even need to use the Revenant Armor for the tier 4 Revenants. I just don't see a purpose for it anymore. Like, it's just so bad. It's just not worth grinding. Thirdly, the Hunter Talisman and the Hunter Ring. You know, okay, first and foremost, the Hunter Talisman costs 1 stack of gold teeth and 32 enchanted rotten flesh. Do you know what I can craft with 1 stack of gold teeth? I can craft a Pooch sword with that. And do you know what a Pooch sword helps me do? A Pooch sword helps me face tank tier 4 savants on land. And do you know what a Hunter Talisman do with 64 gold teeth? Plus 2% combat XP. What? Why would I ever do something that... It's just absolutely ridiculous. It costs so much, it gives so little. Hunter Ring costs 1 RNGesus drop, which has the same drop rate as the Overflux Capacitor at 0.05%. You need an Overflux Capacitor drop rate item along with 4 stacks of gold teeth just to get a rare talisman for plus 5% combat XP. Why? Why would you ever do something like that? It's absolutely garbage. It makes no sense. And at the very least, it should at least be 8%. Lastly, the Edible Mace. Why would you want to use the Edible Mace? Like, at this point, I've given up, because like the Edible Mace is so useless that unless there is some extremely strong animal dungeon in the future and like its ability gets useful, it's so bad I don't even think a stat change will help it. And yeah, there are many dishonorable mentions in the list as well. Those include the Voodoo Doll, Reaper Mask, and the Fly Swatter. All of these items are in desperate need of a buff. They all give too little for how much they cost. Like, it's just unfair. It's just that there is no point grinding for them. If 50% of the Slayer items are bad, why are we even doing Slayers? Like, it's just... It's a flaw in the system that needs to be fixed. It needs to make things grind worthy for. Like, yeah. And lastly, I'd like to listen to your opinion and possible changes towards Slayers that you like to see, that I would like to see from you guys to respond in the comments or even on my Discord channel. And I'm really looking forward to see you guys there, or even just commenting on my channel, and I would try my best to respond to all of your answers and all of your opinions. And hence, these are the 3 main issues regarding Slayers. I love Slayers a lot, but sadly I have to admit its flaws, and I hope to see this idea get expanded on in the future. Thank you for listening to my video. Hope you consider giving a like and subscribe. Love you guys. Furball the Hammy, signing out.